Okay.
Okay, this is the Economic Development Committee meeting. It's August 13, 6 p.m. So let's have the roll call.
Tom Rudliff.
Ian Clark.
Andrew Holt.
Ken Tensner.
Kirk Brown.
Susan Marcus.
And Mike Gaggis.
And Brian Wagner for staff.
And Brian Wagner for staff.
Oh my goodness.
And Randy Apuzzo. Just came in. So that's it.
Just for the record, Randy was late.
For the record. Actually,
Right at 6.
Yeah. This is satellite.
Yeah, he snuck in.
Very good. Okay, the previous minutes, we had a May and July, the July meeting. I thought we canceled that one, or no?
The July meeting was just the, with the.
Oh, with the, that's right. So, did anyone have a chance to look at those?
I did, I saw, there was one typo in the letter.
In the letter?
The letter that went, oh, you're
To
just.
the town council?
Yeah, you're just asking about the minutes.
The
I didn't
minutes,
see
yes.
any problems.
Okay. Any motion to accept the minutes?
I move.
Tom moves.
Second.
Kirk seconds.
Just for clarification, this is for both sets of minutes.
Yeah.
Both sets of minutes. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Okay, correspondence and public comment. We sent a letter to the town council and we went to meet with them and discuss the two surveys, one about the workforce housing initiative and one about the community workspace. And they said go forth and multiply. We got their blessing. We thought maybe we'd start with Ian. He's been looking it over already, kind of grease things a little bit. In addition to the survey, we would like to ask about hiring. Is cost of housing a factor in any of your hiring decisions, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so had a chance to review the survey. I also shared it with the other leadership team members at South County. No concerns were expressed. Everyone was generally in support of it. The only barrier that I have to clear is I'm assuming it's going to be administered online, so I'll probably just have to pass along the link sooner rather than later to our IT department and make sure it checks out from a security perspective. But now we're all good for distribution whenever we get the go-ahead from this committee.
Okay. Would you like to go next week?
Yeah, so from, you said everything's go ahead, so as it stands, it can be distributed?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, so you want to go meet with him
Yeah.
next week? What day is good for you? We can set it now.
They could do that all.
They can set that up.
Yeah,
They
we'll
could-
figure it out.
Yeah.
Just text each other.
Okay.
Text me, let me know.
Okay.
Earlier, before 11 a.m. is always better.
There was one suggestion from the planning director after your meeting with council about the Innovation Center. I think it was the Innovation Center
Right.
survey. It asked questions about rents.
Mm-hmm.
So the
And
one
it-
we're talking about is for the
Workforce
The
hospital.
housing.
hospitals, yes, but
But he's
Oh,
ready.
okay.
go ahead.
Okay.
It's all right. Hold that thought.
Well,
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, and you want to go before 11?
Yeah, before 11 a.m. is
Okay. All right, so we'll come up with a 9 o'clock next week.
Okay.
We'll let Randy know. And we'll stop over. Great. And as far as URI is concerned, I will call them and try to set up a meeting, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Who are we trying to get at URI?
Well, we'll go through our contact. Hasn't been here in a while. So we'll go through her, but I want to get the Director of Legislative Affairs and Community Relations, and there's another guy that's part of the foundation that he's also the chair of the North Providence Town Council. He's been touching base with us all along too. So we'll get those three people. Okay. anyway, so we'll try to get that set up. I honestly don't know in the case of the hospital or in the case of URI, is it better to do it during the school year or not in the summer or in the summer, or is it going to be different?
Yeah, our staffing levels are relatively consistent throughout
They
the
are.
entirety of the year. I'm not entirely sure about URI. I would imagine it would decrease a bit during the
Yeah.
I can give some insight on that. So faculty at URI are technically off contract during the summer, and so sometimes they don't even read their university email until September starts again.
Mhm.
So it probably would make sense to do it like September, like first, second week of September for
Okay.
them.
Good. All right. All right. We'll try to get that set up too. Any further discussion? So Brian, I thought there was a correction about South Kingstown versus Wakefield in that survey. I think.
I think the council did suggest that they would like it to see it townwide rather than just focused on Wakefield. Is that what you're
Yeah, that's
recalling?
it. So
Okay.
the innovation hub in Wakefield, they suggested we make
Striking
it
that
South
say
Kingstown.
Yeah, I do recall that.
That was a good suggestion. Yeah. I got some further information about that too. I wonder if we can cover it.
Well, Brian, you'd mentioned that. Was that the only suggestion?
There's a question in there where you ask about levels of rents.
Yes.
And I think you started at 500 to 999, and the planning director suggested maybe you should start at 250 to 500, 500 to 750.
Okay.
Because sometimes with these innovation centers or incubators, it's as small as renting a desk.
Well, aren't there two questions? There's one about renting a desk and there's another about renting.
I think they're renting those for like 400 around town.
A desk?
A
But
desk.
I'm good with that suggestion. I think because you never know if we're going wide. Just,
You want to go down to 250?
well, adding an additional.
A
so we
couple
got
of
some-
additional levels, especially at the lower end.
250.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's
smart.
easy.
500.
Easy,
Okay.
easy add.
All right. Good.
Because the people at the lower end are gonna be very sensitive to that incremental change,
Right.
so.
Right. We don't want to pigeonhole.
Can you take comments on that? Or?
No, I think
Is there a place for
Pretty much
questions?
fixed.
It's
No,
yeah.
I mean, on the survey.
Yeah. I don't remember. Is there a place to say?
No, I'm saying, I
He
know I have
has a
some comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
It's already,
Let's take comments. You're here today. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
so the question is, do you currently work remotely? Do you want to put down how many days per week, 1 versus 3 versus, maybe that would use
Yeah. Yeah.
something.
Expanding remote.
Days per week.
Because it could be even in the afternoon.
Yeah,
or
it's
the other.
interesting because some people could so. Just give an example. My brother-in-law, he lives in Seekonk, which is in Massachusetts.
Right.
And he has to go up to Boston.
Right.
Now he used to be able to work remotely 4 out of the 5 days.
Right.
Now they make him go 100%. And there were times where he could do 2 days and 3 days. So I think it's valid because it understands like the.
Yeah.
Whereas I work remotely into California. I'm not
Yeah.
commuting. I go there.
That seems to be kind of going across the board, like everybody's calling everybody back to the office.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why there's validity to the question to see
Yeah,
how much of
how
that-
much
yeah,
remote
is
is
it
remote?
full on remote? I know probably about half a dozen to a dozen people here permanently who are working full on remote to places like California, Utah, Texas. Anyway, so I think there's a valid part of that because it.
I mean, it could be how many days, approximately how many days
Right.
per month.
Yeah, because it'll tell us if people are living here and going to Providence or going to Connecticut, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's valid. So
Super.
just note that.
Yeah. And anything else, Tom?
No, not on that one.
Okay.
And Brian, I mean, amending these questions, we don't need to go get another vote if it's something
No.
simple like that.
Yeah.
No, because I'm pretty sure the council recommended that you chat with the planning director, and these are just tweaks. These are not
Yeah.
serious changes to what you're asking.
Any others?
Yeah, if you want to hear 'em.
Yeah, please.
This is the workforce survey,
Workforce
question
housing.
15. community, sense of community, quality of schools, proximity to workplace.
Yeah, I think it's an easy one to add as an option. And Brian, that's amendable. Okay.
That's a big one.
I mean, where do you currently live? It gives two choices, South Kingstown or not South Kingstown. Maybe we should ask where.
Yeah, just have an
Zip
open
code?
house.
Zip code?
And then, that's kind of it.
Where was that?
Very good.
At the beginning.
How granular do we want to get with that question, actually? Because, like, you could ask Washington County. You could ask, like,
Yeah.
do you live in Rhode Island, Washington County? Do you live in South Kingston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Town is
Yeah. Towns.
good.
Okay. Well, that makes it an open-ended question instead of a
Yeah.
multiple choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it should be, it's either, you're either asking a multiple choice or it's optional, open-ended, that doesn't impact the data set.
Got it. So you could say South Kingston or other town.
Yeah, so just other town, and then optional, tell us what town.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
But it is Google, right? So if it's Google, you have the choice of multiple choice or
Yeah, fill in.
some short answer
But then
question.
you get
And
a
you get-
field
and the-
label with it.
Yeah.
But what you're gonna wanna be able to show is that somebody who's, the most important thing is to get data that says this person who doesn't live in South Kingstown, or the majority of people not living in South Kingstown said this is why, right? It's not, it matters a little bit on where they live now, but that's not really
Okay.
the intent of the survey. You know, the survey is that there are people that would like to live in South Kingstown but aren't, and why.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really necessarily intended to figure out where they live and why.
Who's sending this out? The
It's-
town?
I'm not saying it couldn't be helpful. I'm just
So
saying it
there's
should be.
the distribution.
It just
will be-
shouldn't hold. They shouldn't muddy the data.
I'm just thinking, since we're asking the question, to have that, but I understand the intent.
Can you send it out to the group before we send it out to the mass?
Our group.
Yeah, we could be like,
Yeah.
we could just fill it out just to see.
Say.
So there
how it
are,
works.
there's two, just to clear, in case it's not clear. We have two surveys. We have one that's going to be this incubator remote working discovery one that's going to go generally to entrepreneurs and just the general populace. And then the other one's there's another one that has a different survey. It's going to go directly to the hospital
Right.
and
Yeah.
directly to URI. So and those will be distributed through the channels of the hospital or URI. And the other one, we have Joe Belay has agreed to distribute it.
Really.
Belay, thank you. Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
Chevrolet.
And then, so he's agreed we can distribute that one through
Through the
social
chamber,
media,
yeah.
social channels. So those are the distribution channels. Yeah.
I was just thinking we could be like the lab rats, send it out to us first to make sure
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, I think that's true. And also we can check that the data is coming into the spreadsheet the way we need it. So
Yeah.
I think it's
And there's no particular reason why it's the hospital or URI. We just decided that because it was an easy strike point. But the idea is they're a big enough sample set where it's not like this survey is just for the hospital and URI. This is to bring data back, and it's a big enough data
Yeah.
pool that it would show.
Yeah. Well, the survey that asked about working in incubator space isn't relevant to the workforce.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, the hospital URI, so that's why there's two separate.
But it will be relevant to more people than Joe's database.
Correct. Joe's is one source, so we need
So
to expand
we need to
beyond
be
that.
asking a bunch of
Joe, I
other.
think, has 400 to 600 people.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's skewed because it's very much entrepreneur based.
Right. But we've talked to a lot of other groups about this, and so they should get it too.
Yeah.
And we'd also talked about maybe doing like a QR code flyer or something like that that you can put up at like
Yeah,
half
coffee shops. And
That'd be great.
other places like that. So.
Yeah, especially like places like Casper or Orgies, like places that are kind of hotbeds for that stuff.
What about like Oktoberfest? I mean, that's a
Can't hurt.
5,000 people draw.
Yeah.
It's mostly all the townies.
What's the time frame for when a poster? Is it going
Yeah.
to
Close
close
that.
Could have, well, you could do a pop-up tent.
No, I'm saying your
No one can man it, but you could have a pop-up tent with a table set up.
All right.
You don't want to,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to man it, sure, but if not, I'll just show you where to put it.
I've got my liter.
Let's go.
What's the date on that? What's the date on that?
October 4th.
Good question was brought up by Tom, was the time frame. And we didn't consider that before. It was out for 36 hours.
Yeah.
It was shut down.
At a date, I would probably
Yeah.
go, I'll get to that in a week or two.
Yeah, I think the answer by, and I think with the hospital representation, if that was distributed, what would be your suggestion? Say you have 2 weeks to answer?
Yeah, no, 2 weeks would be great, and in a perfect world, data response rate is always relatively low on the first distribution. So if we can just blast it again, maybe a couple of times, that 2 week interval would allow for that. So yeah, I think 2 weeks is probably good.
Is that enough? Should we go? Time is on our
So is that
side.
going to be an email?
It would be.
Like a constant
I think
contact?
it's probably gonna be multiple blasts. One.
Yeah.
Whoever doesn't open it, they just blast it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be on your end.
Yeah, and we can do that.
Okay.
We have access to
So do you
that.
think it's too little or too much, or do you want more? I mean, 2 weeks.
More time.
Yeah.
Do we have any flexibility in that? I don't know what the response rate is going to be,
Yeah.
right? So if we send it
I'd-
out and the response rate's relatively low and we want to keep it open and remind people a few times, we have that option available.
So I'd say that, just speaking, if we have a timeline to deliver a report to TC, then we can still get data that trickles, but say we want the bulk of data, so when we build a report, it's based upon that data from that time,
Well,
right?
I think the issue is gonna be whether you say when you send it out, fill this out by such and such a date, and then if we don't get a lot of responses, then we have to say, we're sending it again and fill it out another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's all right, I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah, that
We
sounds
give
about
people
right.
2 weeks, and if we don't get the results, enough results, we say, we've extended the survey and we're giving you another 2 weeks.
You know, by the time we meet with URI, that's gonna be.
Well, they're not even.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm sorry to keep conflating the two things together. We all are, but okay.
Is there any expectation from the town council when this will be
No.
done?
Not yet.
No? Okay.
I think that'd be it for
Okay.
us to deliver that, so I think September is too soon.
Mhm.
Maybe we shoot for November. Do you know the meeting times in November, Brian?
For what?
For TC meetings?
The first and
I don't know.
second.
In November, so, I mean, it's typically the second and fourth, Monday.
Mondays of the month.
Okay. So we could shoot for maybe the second in
Let's see,
November.
I don't think, I think we need to get some responses and then we can decide what we're
Okay.
telling, we're going to the town council.
Really
Yeah.
interested in the response.
I think it's important to have URI. It
Yeah.
just gives a better spread of
Yeah.
respondents. So.
The initial survey, just from prior data, 61 responses in under 48 hours. That went through the Chamber of Commerce.
Joe's.
61 out of how many?
400, so it's pretty good. Almost
Yeah, that's a
25%.
pretty good response.
But I'd say that's high.
Yeah, we won't get that.
And
from some of
quick.
the-
No, you won't get that percentage from the employees.
No, you won't.
Probably like
It'll
9.
be single digits.
No, we won't get that response from a lot of.
And how many employees do you have total?
About 1,600.
1,600,
Good
yeah.
side with Dodge wants to know.
No, that's what we don't want to do.
I'm kidding, I'm
I could
kidding.
offer like.
Yeah, can they get something for
I'm
doing
happy
it?
to fund for Amazon gift cards or Brickley gift cards or something like that.
No, we don't have to do
Yeah,
that.
I don't-
Oh, Randy can do that.
Yeah,
All right,
why not?
I'll fill it out.
Yeah.
We'll take the gift
I don't
cards.
think we'll need to accept that. I think we'll probably get into the low double-digit range with a few reminders, but I certainly not.
How about this? When we launch the first one through you, we'll see what the response rate is. You can let us know. And if we need to then provide incentive, I'm happy to throw.
His rate may be better than some of the miscellaneous.
Can Christine Foisey help at all with this, or is that out of her department?
No, she probably could. What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
No, I'm just good friends with her. I know she gets stuff done. She could definitely probably help.
It would probably just come out through marketing a little bit for the distribution to do it.
Yeah.
But there's a mechanism by which we can get it to all the employees pretty easily, I think. So it should be, knock on wood, relatively light lift.
Okay. Cool. All right, anything further on these things?
Could get. I'm just thinking to try to get people to fill it out at the hospital. I know, like, maybe we could get like one of the pizza joints or something to donate pizza. We can they love that stuff over there. Be like, oh, you know, this is the day you fill out the blah blah blah, free pizza.
Any incentive, I can tell you, because I do this on the business side.
Yeah.
And we do this. Any little
Anything you
incentive
can do to
makes
give them a little push.
Yeah.
I know the hot like they're huge on the whole.
Everyone loves food.
Yeah, I've never. That's like a. Yeah, they love it over there. I used to do it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
There'd be like a line when I showed up. Like, geez, these people don't eat.
Free food is the best.
Free food, yeah.
Free food is the best food.
Alright, so timeline-wise, by the time I think we orchestrate with you, it'll probably be a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, right? And then we'll be 2 weeks away from our next meeting. So let's launch it without any incentive initially. By the time we come back to the next meeting, we can make a decision if we
Yeah.
how we get more aggressive.
If it
with
didn't
if we
work,
need
then
to.
yeah, we'll get aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And I always like incentive, so let's do that.
Cool. Very good. So item 1 and 2, we're gonna close at this point. We wanna move on now to the old Tower Hill.
Can we have a motion and a vote to finalize the surveys as discussed tonight? Because you did make changes, so.
Sure. Everybody, motion to accept the
I'll make
changes?
a motion to accept the changes
I'll
we
second.
made in the,
Terrific. All those in favor?
I
Anybody opposed? Okay, carries.
and if you write the letter again, just after that T, put a H-E.
Which one is this? No, they're here.
It doesn't matter, because it's already gone.
No. Oh, you're talking about the letter to the town council?
Yeah, the letter to the town council.
No, that's water under the
It's
bridge.
water
We're
under
done.
the bridge.
Okay. We have a bridge. Okay, good.
Couple.
Super, absolutely, we got a waterfall.
Oh, man, the water under that bridge this morning was disgusting. I did
Really?
water quality testing.
Yeah.
Holy
Well,
moly, it was.
it's had almost no rain right now.
It's been low for weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
terrible. And
Yeah.
we pushed the water through these filters. Normally the filter was maybe a little bit green. These filters were coated with crap.
The jalapenos in my garden are nice and spicy. Start to blister when they're,
Yeah.
constricted.
Great. All right. How about we move on to the Old Tower Hill Road Neighborhood Plan? So there was a meeting on the 30th of July with Able City East. Several of us attended, and I think we ought to debrief first and tell everybody what we heard, and then go from there, because we probably need to have some actions to keep this thing moving along.
So to confirm, there was a couple meetings, right? So the first meeting we went to was the planning committee, where the EDC was invited.
Right.
Kurt, you were president, I was president, Mike, you were president.
Yeah.
Chris
Yes.
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
I think this, you were there, that's right, Ken was there, so it was the 5 of us there. And then that was just kind of like a comment, open feedback session. And then there was the follow-up meeting, that was the public meeting, right?
Yeah, that was not on the 30th, that's the one I was.
That's
it was
the
a-
30th.
Yeah,
That's
to the
the 30th.
public. I
Public
really
meeting.
wanted to focus in on that public meeting, because,
Was there a good turnout?
we,
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, that's good.
yeah, so,
it's almost every seat.
yeah, it was a decent turnout. The business owners that were there were not in favor of the changes to the zoning, and pretty emphatic about it. Mrs. Jabers called me an idiot. No, she didn't quite say
Who?
it that way. Mrs. Jabers.
Huh?
And,
Joe's wife?
yeah,
Joe, she called you an idiot?
yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
No, she basically said I didn't know anything about retail, and you can't put the stores behind other stores because nobody can see the stuff, that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, and I'm not singling her out, they're all living in the past. Okay, they're not. Yes, I don't understand retail, but I do understand technology. When I go to travel, I don't rent a car. If I want my booze, I order it online and it gets delivered. Have you been to Star Market lately? Because there's 10 employees in there shopping for somebody else. That's, that's not driving there. So things are changing, and they don't see the need to change. They think the formula that they have will work. At least that's the impression I got from the Jabers, and I got the same impression from based more feedback from other meetings, which these guys know more about than I do. So anyway, that was a little disheartening.
Yeah, there was pushback. There was also pushback from.
Was it the businesses or was it the property owners?
There's two property owners that spoke.
Who was that?
And I didn't see, at least publicly, I didn't see such a negative sentiment. There was questions, but
Yeah.
what you heard outside of the public comments, I'm not aware of. So
Mhm.
So yeah, the initial people stood up and spoke, right? And two property owners spoke. Also, the husband of Patty Alley spoke as well. I think that's notable. So yeah, there was some.
A couple neighborhood people were
Yeah.
surprised.
Who were the
at
property owners?
range.
Do you know?
I know that we had comments from Ms. Costanza at Bank of America and the tenant at Speedcraft Volkswagen, but not the property owner at Speedcraft Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So,
Just to be clear, we're very pro the form-based code, right? At least from what I understand, we're pro. We want to help support it going through. The property owners, this idea, this concept was brought up years ago, and I'm learning this because I'm new to this town, new to the EDC and the politics. And there have been plans or attempts for some of the property owners to do this style of building that have been shut down by the town in the past. So some of the property owners are called jaded. And
Yeah,
upset
Miss
with-
Costanza. She wanted to do it a long time
Yeah,
ago. They
she
wouldn't let her
wanted
do
And
it.
also Perry as well.
Perry was.
Yeah. So Perry owns the.
First.
Feet first.
But that's
Yeah.
he didn't
wanted
get
to
shot
build a
down.
Yes, he
two-story-
did. He wanted to put a second story on it. He didn't want to have as many parking spots.
No, it's because his restaurant had too many seats.
Regardless of.
That's what it was.
He wanted to do a similar style of build, got rejected, or I don't know the whole. I don't.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So they're jaded that the town has said one thing, and they're pretty much hypocritical in the eyes is that they've tried to do this before, and then they got shut down, and now they're saying, oh, you can now do it, right? And that's the thing.
it's a poor reason to fight it now, though. I mean,
Well,
I understand
humans
that-
are humans,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
But,
Well,
but
Perry's
Perry's
shooting himself in the
Perry's
foot.
not fighting it.
No.
I don't think so.
Perry was
Perry-
never rejected.
Never
for
reject.
anything.
Yeah.
He never applied for anything.
His plan got out of control.
He backed
Like,
off for his
yeah.
own reasons.
So I don't
having
know the
nothing
whole
to do with
story.
the
Yeah.
city. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's pretty new to Feet First. He's only had it for about
Yeah, couple years.
3
Couple,
years.
2
3
years maybe
3
now.
years.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got a sign. He's got a sign up that says for sale. Did you see that?
Oh, he put it back up for sale.
Which it is, if this form-based code is here and we could do more with it, maybe it would change.
Yeah.
its
I've talked to
position.
Perry
Well,
a few times about this.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
did
me too.
so did
Jamie.
Jamie, and he said he's glad to see the changes. He's probably not ready to do something now, but if it gives him more
It wasn't
flexibility.
cost effective.
Pardon?
Yeah.
His plan was not cost effective
For him.
to build for his return on his. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So just mentioning that sentiment exists regardless of how it plays out and what the real story is. I'm not speaking for anybody's position there. Importantly, I think Costanza's point was she was concerned that it would devalue her property because of constraints. Right, that was one of her points that she was worried about.
And you couldn't see her if you built something in front of her. You couldn't see what.
People wouldn't find her, yeah, because the discovery of merchant sales is through signage and through visual. That was her point, right? To what Mike's saying, she's absolutely right. Before the time of internet, I don't drive by things like, oh, where's the liquor store around here? I search it on my application, right? I search it on my phone. and it's
Yeah,
telling me
but there's still
exactly
curb
where it
appeal.
is.
Yeah.
Say again?
Curb appeal is still a big thing.
Yeah, and I'm
Sure.
discrediting it, right? But those were her two, I'd say, is that my property value is going to go down. People won't know that I'm here. Those are, I think, her two largest.
Well, she had a couple. I wasn't there,
Mm.
so I only have a secondhand report. had a small list of things that she didn't like. One of them was that she'd have to maintain some bike paths and put in some sidewalks and.
Landscaping.
Yeah.
So she doesn't care, she didn't mention landscaping.
She wouldn't have to do that unless she makes improvements to the property, though, no?
Correct.
Yeah,
So-
but that's what
So-
Able City East was there to talk to her about, to see whether, they want to find a few property owners who will volunteer
Okay.
to sit with them and see how the code, depending on where they are, how the code
Yep.
that would be written would apply to their particular property.
Like a pilot.
Yeah, right.
And we were-
Does the code gonna
We were
work or
hoping
not?
Jane would be one of those because she's so centrally located.
Yeah.
And because years ago, she got Roy West to do a design for her for housing there. Because she was articulate 6 years ago in the survey, I interviewed her in the survey 6 or 8 years ago, whatever it was. And I talked to her, and she wanted more flexibility to do different kinds of things with her property, and so we were hoping she might be available.
Notable information too. I don't know what's public or what's not, but what I've heard is that U.S. Bank went to go extend their lease as far out as they could.
This is Larry.
Yeah, hearing about this. And I don't
Where's
know.
you mean Bank, all right?
No, U.S. Bank.
Where's U.S. Bank?
Wakefield, Liberty. You don't even know.
Oh,
You should
yeah,
see
no,
it.
that's.
America.
Bank
That's
of
Bank of
America.
America.
No, U.S. Bank is.
Yeah, no,
I'm
Bank
sorry,
of
Bank of
America.
America. Here, sorry, Bank of America.
You don't know.
I don't know.
It's by coastal.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're looking into it.
And U.S. Bank was founded by an Italian immigrant.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting story. U.S. Bank. Anyway, so they look to extend it beyond because they just want to dig in.
Well, they just did some renovations to
They
their
did.
Yeah, they
facade.
did.
Yeah.
I got 2 questions. Like, first of all, who calls the shot? I know the town council does, but let's get real. Who are they going to listen to? The property owners, is it 90%? Is it 50-50? Because here's why I felt
When you
that
say who, do you mean the planning board?
No, the town council. They're the ones that make the yes or no, right? So
True.
they're going to listen to everybody, but who are they really going to listen to? And I think the property owners are going to be high on the list.
Yeah.
But in this presentation, I was going to say it publicly, and I didn't want to put them on the spot, but I know they wanted to present this to the general public. What do you guys think? Let's hear comments. But they did zilch to try to sell this. So as a citizen of the town who pays taxes, I wanted to hear, if we do this, our projections show that growth will occur, and they've already made these projections that the taxes will go down. And I think that's a relevant point that was totally
Never
missed.
mentioned.
Totally missed. It was like an architect's meeting, which was good.
Yeah.
You got to learn the nooks and the crannies of the code. But if they're trying to sell it, you got to start selling, and they're not.
Yeah.
And again, especially in light of the property owners already have concluded this is not good for me, as a general statement. So they're not the only ones. There are people paying taxes in the town, and they should have a good say in whether this thing goes or not, under the assumption that the numbers that they never came to talk to us about are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so
Get off my-
let me get this straight. So it really affects the people that own the property.
Affects everyone, because it affects my taxes. I don't own the property.
Well, can you help the property owners pay for the project?
By shopping there, I guess I can.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it really affects the property owners the most. They're the
More
ones
than
who
the other. Sure.
they're the ones who have to pay for it.
I mean, I'm a property owner, but you're talking about the ones on the road. Yeah, it affects them more.
But they pay for it, but they also stand to profit from it more than the tax.
And again, if you
Well,
believe the numbers,
potentially. That's it, yeah.
Potentially.
if you
I
believe the
said
numbers,
stand to.
Yeah, stay it.
if you believe the numbers, even if you cut their numbers in half, which again, we haven't had the courtesy of examining,
I
they're
think-
going to profit very, very handsomely.
The scary part is the cost of the project on their end. That's where
But they don't
The
have to do a
investment.
They
damn
don't have
thing.
to
They can
do.
sit there and for another 100 years. But if they do, from everything I've heard and from what I know outside of this, they're going to profit handsomely. That's what I think.
That's what development is supposed
Ken,
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm familiar with the comment before. Like, is it something like if they change more than 20% of the building outlay?
I thought it was 50%.
There's a number.
Yeah.
There's a number
There will be a
like
number.
that. They're trying to
Yes.
They're forced into the code if they do.
So there's a workaround. You just
Correct.
you do 10%.
Yeah.
You do 10%. You do 10%.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, right. Can always do that.
Depends on how the code is written.
I'm just-
I've seen codes where they accumulate the amount of work that you've done.
Yeah, sure.
So if you did 25% in one year, and 25% the next year, they're gonna say, you just did 50%, you
So
need
you
to
just
bring
spent-
a building
They
on.
know people like you, Ken.
50%.
I know people like you, man.
Guess what? All that
But
money
if
you
you-
just spent,
Right.
tear it down, move it forward.
So there may be a time frame associated with that. If you do 50% within any 2 or 3 year stretch of time, it may trigger it. Again,
But it's amendable,
that's a final
right?
decision for the council and how
Mm.
this code is worded and kicks in.
So all of it's amendable. Everything's on the table. And the Kings were pretty much. I spoke to them and they said they're not politicians. They're designers or architects, right? So they said they want to come here and amend the code to meet the public's needs or meet the landowners or the property owners' needs who are affected by the code.
You mean the people who are paying
Correct.
to do it?
Yeah. So they don't care about politics. They don't care about this side,
No,
that side, this
they're getting
person's
paid
side.
to do a job.
Their goal is to get a code through that is amicable to all parties. And they've done it successfully in many other areas. And the areas they've done it to have grown significantly, and it's pretty impressive. One of the thoughts we had was showing the growth of like, okay, if I owned a property where the form-based code was applied to, whenever, what was the property worth before, and then 10 years later, what was it worth? Because one of Costanza's points is my property value is going to go down. Based upon my viewpoint, which is an opinion, I disagree. I think her property value is going to skyrocket.
But why does she thinks if she tears down what she has now and brings it up to code and moves it closer to the street and builds there with
Well,
the
even
parking
if she-
behind it?
Even if in 10 years, if she's ready to sell, the property value, just the land value, may be worth more because of the opportunity which can be built on it. Because you can have
Mhm.
residential with commercial mixed in.
Right. More density is
Yes.
more,
yeah,
more
density.
profit, right?
Right.
No matter.
So, but to your point, Tom, is that it was an architect's presentation.
Yeah,
It wasn't
that's a
about
good- exactly.
That's a great point.
It wasn't about the increase of value that
Right.
could occur, and not that could. There is so many references now because the Kings have done this. How many? 8 times in major areas like in Florida and up the coast.
So,
Yeah.
The problem I see is that you've got this coalition forming of people, property owners, primarily the business property owners, that don't want it. There's nobody championing this from the town. Nobody to say, I am advocating for this. So if you just present it on the table and key stakeholders don't want it, it's gonna go in the garbage can. You know,
Well,
it ain't gonna happen.
It's like we talked about before, the idea that the importance of these types of development when we out of town. For example, the high school, the focus on the tax burden of the high school going to the residential landowners.
Right.
Without economic development and commercial developments like these, that's the only way to do it. So to flip the script politically on the issues where every time you hear anything about, instead of,
Somebody's got to present that point of view, and you know, I can understand the town probably wants to stay neutral here. The town council is trying to read the tea leaves. You're not going to get leadership there, the way I see it.
Should be the
So,
Kings.
Somebody's got it. Well, yeah, but they're.
But they
hired
can't. They're not.
guns.
That's
They
not
can't.
their job.
Yeah.
Their job isn't.
Could be their job.
Yeah, but that's not. But they don't. That's not what they do. So it's.
They did have a financial person that was a part of it, and he was a developer. Okay, and he went over those economics and could make a pretty good case. And
We need
I think if you would take a vote of town council representatives and the ones that I know and talk to quite frequently, the biggest concern for them politically is the tax burden. They want the school systems to continue to grow. They want the schools to continue to get better, but they can't because that means taxes have to increase for the residents. So if you flip the script and say, well, the only way to relieve that tax burden and continue to grow schools is develop, and not to say that this is just going to be garbage development, but it's going to be thoughtful development, and that's what this plan is all about.
We need somebody to make that case to the average property owner in town, like myself.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody do that. I mean, other than in here, but, publicly.
That could be
So
our.
I look at
that's
isn't this
what I
more
look at.
commercial than residential though?
We need a champion.
It's both, it's mixed use.
It's
I
mixed
mean,
use.
There will be upper floor residential
Apartments.
components to this, yes.
Yeah,
But landlords are business.
but not family.
Too.
I don't see it being like family.
I'm not saying this, bringing the school up because it brings more students. I'm saying it brings more tax revenue. So the burden of taxes right now is primarily held. The majority of the burden of the taxes is on the residents and residential properties.
So they should have an appropriately weighty voice in this thing, and not just the property owners in the businesses there.
Yeah.
Because we're all paying the taxes in this town.
And
Sure.
Not to the same.
But it's a fair point because it's like it's basically in any political battle, it's like not in my backyard, right? So the business we get it for the business owners. Of course, this might not be exactly what you want, but for one particular business owner, then maybe you need to put it on the market because the town is changing and it's.
And if they had heard at least a few cost numbers, even if they said, that's ridiculous. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
fair
So here it
point.
is, we're asking you to take a big risk. You think it's gonna reduce your property value, which I think most people would say it won't, but okay, without numbers. So,
I mean, they
But
can
the,
do,
but the
they
issue
can do
for
the
them,
numbers.
but the issue for them still,
Yeah,
no
but
matter
you
what, it's
have
going to be
to hear-
capital.
They know what they get for rents and what they can build and what building costs are. I mean,
yeah, they
that's
know.
what it really comes down to. If you really want to sell the property owners, is you need to make the numbers make sense for them to do it.
Right.
Right.
Not just so much like from the tax point of view, but from their own point of view, the money coming out of their pocket that they're going to invest in their property.
Yeah, but the question I think Tom's
Is it a
bringing up
10
is
cap? Is
if
it
the
a
town
20?
council
You know
says,
what I mean?
if the town decides that this is happening and the code changes, whether the property owners like it or not.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't even affect most of the property because they just don't have to do any work.
If they're not gonna
It's
do
only if
anything,
they
it
do the
doesn't
work.
matter,
It's,
right?
This is a long
Yeah.
process. I mean, the only person right now who could do anything is Perry Rasso because he needs to do something with that building.
Well, no, I mean, the people who, any of these landowners might decide, hey, you know what, this is the
I'm not
perfect
doing
time for me
anything.
to sell my property.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be developers that look at
Or
this
let
new plan.
somebody
and
else
say,
make a couple of these
Mm.
moves, and then I'll jump in, once it's
Well, that's
established.
all good too, yeah, the pilot.
But,
And the other thing is, a lot of them are, I mean, I heard from a couple of them that their buildings need something done to them anyway. They were built in the sixties and they've gotta
it's
be,
aged.
they
Yeah.
gotta do something. So what are they gonna do? And they're not gonna, the money they put in, they wanna make sure that that money works for them, so. But a lot of them are sitting on really falling down pieces of property, so, I mean, pieces of buildings, whatever.
Just to clarify, it's only in the code. It's only zoned like commercial, residential.
No, commercial highway, it's zoned. There's no
Most of this
residential.
area is zoned commercial highway.
Okay.
The southeastern side of it
This whole thing is commercial.
on Old
Okay.
Main Street is also commercial downtown.
This over here.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought Brian, you said there'd be like first floor retail and then potentially residential above.
With the new zoning.
Yes.
With the potential to go
Yeah.
more density.
The current
So go
zoning only
fourth floor.
allows for one floor.
Okay.
Um,
No matter how tall the ceiling is, so like at the.
Well,
like
maximum height is 35 feet, maybe 40 feet in commercial.
Yeah, 40.
highways.
Oh, okay.
But you're only allowed one story. So the new iteration would allow for multi-story, and you were there, so they
Yeah.
start at a high point in the center of the commercial
Mhm.
highway district or the heart up by Shaw's, and then as you get closer to the surrounding residential neighborhoods, that comes down so that it blends with the residential.
These are
But I guess what I'm getting at is like this map is all well and good, but if you can't see like an example of like what a new property would look like, and maybe even the financial breakdown of like you'd be getting this for rent if there was apartments, you'd be getting this from your commercial.
Totally, that
Like if we just had some sort of examples that we could show someone like Costanza or someone else who's a property owner and be like, hey, I understand your concerns, but this is what our projections show. What do your numbers look like? How can we meet in the middle and understand and you know, assuage you?
There's real data.
There is
A lot of the
some
problem is
there
construction
some-
costs is so high right now.
I believe that.
That developer did numbers,
Yeah.
There-
broadly.
In the code, there are sections that the bourgeois guy did.
Yeah.
He's the financial
In the
guy.
90-page document.
Yeah, in that great big document. But we found that Tom and I thought they were a little
They seem
ambitious.
extremely high, so, I
Yes.
mean, even if you cut them in half, if the numbers are correct, and that's why I thought it'd be good for us to poke through the numbers, you know, before now. But if the numbers are correct, even if you have to, it's still very attractive.
Yeah.
So
Like it.
I asked Pam King, is it Pam?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
About how many potential residential units could open up, which I think is also relative to the housing.
Yeah.
Whatever the crisis we're in, right? Call it.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. We could run the numbers, though. She said we could run the numbers. I think that's also
There's
a
no
relative.
free
Yeah,
scenario.
I mean, back to his
Yeah.
point, they could take Perry's property and just say, hey, this is, if somebody could just say, hey, you could build this. This is a, you know, kind of the idea of what it's going to cost.
Like-
You're going to get this many apartments, this much retail
One
space.
beachhead example.
Isn't
Blah,
that
blah,
what they're
blah.
offering?
That's
That's
what
what they
that's
wanted
what
to
they
do.
want. That's
Yeah.
what they want to do. That
Yeah.
they
No.
want.
I didn't know.
All right, so-
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
they want to do.
That's
They
what
want to
they're
get a couple of
That's
property
what they're
owners
right.
who will sit
But I mean,
down
they,
with them
they don't
and
even
say,
need the property owner to do that.
Yeah, you can run the numbers yourself.
They can just do it.
Show Perry.
You can just say, hey, Perry.
But the
But
buy-in.
they want a property owner to give voice to what they would like
That's-
to do on the property.
I understand, but
And then
nobody's.
Pam and Jason would say, okay, here's how the code would work.
Would apply to
with
you.
your idea.
Yeah,
Concepts.
And
yeah.
I mean, I've talked
Yeah,
to a few of the
draw
property
up
owners, and
concepts.
in the contract,
they're not interested.
in the contract with the consultant.
It's a waste of their time, they think.
There are two suggested pilots of the code.
Mhm.
Okay, and Jamie has been talking to the property owners, and he's got several of them on the hook. Okay, so
Who is it?
So
You know, he's been talking to Perry. Perry's
Perry, Bell, Holbrook. Like I call it Bell, I call it Holbrook.
Bell is also interested in
Yeah.
working on it.
I know them all. I know Jeff doesn't.
I mean, Scott Holberg has the old farm
Got multiple
property that's right in
properties.
the middle of it. I'm sure he would be willing to sit down and talk.
Mm.
it's the old farm, the Holly Street.
No,
No, Clark.
Which properties are built?
Clark Farm.
Oh, the Clark Farm.
Clark Farm,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I think he has a different thing going on over there.
we haven't heard anything since the proposal for the retail marijuana outlet. So if he has ideas, we haven't seen them yet.
Here in the hospital.
Yeah, great.
A dispensary.
No, so that's
Yeah.
what they're trying to do, and to
The whole
answer.
district is
It's all dispensaries.
Maybe dispensaries
Yeah.
with
The
residents.
people residents above it are only people who smoke weed.
You can't do that. They can only be a freestanding dispensary.
Who is
Yeah,
this?
right.
Susan Heath brought it up too, as they may be interested. The corner of Cherry.
Cherry Lane.
Behind
Well,
Belmont.
Oh,
Yeah, well, behind, I mean, so, this is Jack Zarebo, but he can't get it through his
System.
family. Yeah, but he is very keen on doing something to house his workers. He has workers who sleep in their car, come in and, wash up in the bathroom before they go to work, and
Yeah.
he feels badly about that. I mean, he's a guy, he really cares about his workers. So,
So the ballet, the old ballet, whatever that.
yeah, Wakefield Dance and those.
Yeah, that
Cherry
room
Lane.
on-
Yeah,
like,
those,
I feel
look
like
at
it's a
those
great-
buildings. Those buildings,
Great target.
those
Doing
buildings
nothing.
are waiting to fall down.
Right, yeah, they are falling down.
Mhm.
They are. Completely.
so I recommended to Jamie that we get a meeting with some property owners who might be amenable to this, especially the ones who have done the pilot, and then bring some others in as well.
Didn't
But we need
I thought
Tom's,
they
we need,
didn't they have meetings? Or they didn't do a meeting?
No, so, Jason and Pam,
They didn't meet with any of them? or they
asked
did?
to meet individually with Jane Costanza, who insisted on not having town personnel there. Originally, the answer to that was no, but a council member intervened and they agreed to go on their own. When they arrived, it was not just Jane Costanza at the meeting, so Larry Fish was also there, and the owner of
James Dart.
the tenant at Speedcraft Volkswagen was there.
He plans to renovate his building, even if he's a tenant. He plans to do something to it, which is
Well,
why he was.
He plans. We haven't seen anything.
No. He's thinking about it.
Well, he stated it. He stated
The code does not prevent him from having an auto dealership.
No, it doesn't.
The auto dealership will look different than the
Yes.
picture he might have in his head.
Right.
But the only thing I know that it prevents is more gasoline stations. The existing gas stations would be grandfathered in. Ms. Costanza basically informed Jason and Pam that she would fight this, that she had no interest in any code provision that would restrict her ability to do anything she wanted with the property. And the recommendation.
Which she doesn't have.
But she has that today.
Right. But
right?
she doesn't have that today. She doesn't have the ability to do
Right.
anything she wants.
Right.
That's
it's grossly misunderstood, but I think
Yeah.
it's marketed incorrectly or
So
communicated.
I think to Tom's point, before these meetings happen with the property owners, it would be very good if we had more than just the design side of this, which is what we get from the Kings. If we had bourgeois numbers and he somehow,
We summarized them, but yes,
yeah,
something.
something.
To sell the damn thing.
Yeah.
So is Jamie planning to have this meeting?
Have what meeting?
A meeting with some potential property
If
owners that were in
anybody
favor?
wants to meet with them, he's available to meet with them.
No,
So when you put.
I mean, we had a big
Yeah.
council meeting for the public and the property owners to come in and.
Yeah,
Right.
but what they've asked for, what we've talked about since last March, was having a couple of test sites where the property owner would sit with King and with
And he's-
Bourgeois and actually say, I have a car dealership and I want to renovate it. What is it gonna look like? This is my property right
We need
here.
property owners to come forward and express an
That's-
interest in doing that.
That's what I thought the EDC was trying to get people to do, but.
That's why I was wondering. I made a couple calls, but it didn't go anywhere. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah,
They never set up a meeting?
not,
Nobody set up a
not
meeting?
that I'm aware of. I mean, if you want them to call me instead of calling Jamie, they're welcome to call me instead.
So they do have this other sense of, this was discussed so long ago, it was brought to them, they went to a meeting, so they have that kind of attitude as well, as in,
There's
what
no
am I
more
gonna?
frustrated than I am.
But
because I was part of it.
Yeah.
Hey, that was.
No, I was
years
talking to
ago.
him, trying to get him back on board, trying to sell him on the
Yeah.
idea, and you should definitely have a say in it. You should really take the time to do the meeting. Don't let this happen without
Cost you
talking.
nothing
But-
just a few hours maybe, right?
But they just,
Do you think it would help if we showed up to a specific property owner and we said, hey, look, this is what we would recommend you maybe invest in, and here's like what it all looks like, sort of like in a package. So you're telling me that they're not interested in doing the thought experiment on their own, but if somebody had like done the thought experiment for them, and maybe
Yeah.
we're not locking you into this exact
Not asking any
plan.
investment, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just the buy-in.
But just like,
it's just like,
Listen,
here's some numbers, and maybe what you would actually do is going to vary from this, but like here's like a concrete example of like, you take that liquor store, you change it into this, you're going to put 3 stories of residential above it, you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
So here's the other discussion when you talk to them about it though, is all the tenants they have now. So while they're doing construction, they have to put everybody out. So they have no income coming in at the same time. This construction will take a while. So I understand. I'm looking at all points of views and I'm trying to see
Yeah.
how we can get them to But I think eventually it's just going to end up
Well,
being.
that's that problem that you've just raised is a developer's problem under any circumstances. If somebody has,
well,
if
that's
somebody has a
not-
falling down
Yeah, but you're
building,
talking about a developer. I'm talking about
a property owner.
these are property owners, and not all of them are developers.
Right.
There's only a
Sure.
few guys that are in the game that we're talking about that are developers, but a lot of the people aren't developers. They're
So-
just property owners and business
so
owners.
Who are they? Who are the developers?
I mean, Scott
Scott
Culber's a
Goldberg
developer.
and
So I'd say like, Ken, it's a great point. So then let's target people who own buildings that aren't producing revenue. Wakefield Shoes,
Yeah.
Cherry Lane, they're just
Yeah.
sitting there doing nothing since I moved here.
Yeah.
Right, so 3 years and then no tenants. So maybe we target those individuals and do the
Well, and the thing of doing that exercise too, from a public facing, in terms of promoting the idea that this is good, people also get the opportunity to see, oh, that'd be great if that was there.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so I mean,
What's the temperature of the town? What are you guys thinking? I mean, as far as like
Staff?
working with, I know we're trying to set something up to get these property owners to talk to the consultants to try to get some feedback and stuff, but that's not working. So what, is there any other discussion to try to do anything else?
I
Or
mean, that's
This
why
is-
we're working with you. I mean, as the Economic Development
Yeah. I was
Committee,
just wondering if
outreach
you guys had
to
any
these
ideas
people is supposed
to
to be
weigh
one
in.
of your missions, so.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think to that. Well,
I think you take personally. I think you talk to Perry because I've had some discussions with him, and he seemed to like the idea of the density and beaming them, and he thought maybe that the residential could offset some of the cost of the commercial. So I think if you take that as a pilot and try to focus on just one and to see where it goes, I think
Yeah.
that's the one to focus
Do you
on.
think you can get Perry's audience? I mean, none of us. You have a relationship with him. None of us have that direct relationship.
I would think he's pretty busy with trying to rebuild the.
Yeah, I can have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
though.
so I mean, Jamie has been in contact with
Yeah,
Perry.
that's-
He worked with Perry a lot
Right.
on his ideas for the Feet First location. I mean, that's how we know that it wasn't anything that the town had to say. It was a decision that Perry made based on his own economic consideration.
Right.
And then certainly with the fire down in Matunic, now he's completely distracted away from this location. Although we recently heard some rumblings about maybe trying to do something at Feet First as an alternative income stream for him to get Matunic back. So it may be back in play again, I don't know.
It's always kind of been in play. That he was kind of held up at the time because the hatchery took way longer and cost way more than
Yeah.
that turned into a big debacle. So that kind of he's tried to focus just to get that done before he started to consider that. Then he had to fire. It was like, oh, this is done. Oh, now I got to fire. So, but I'll circle back with him. I think of all the properties and of all the people, he seemed to be more interested to talk about it. So.
which properties does Bell own?
Where the bank is, Washington Trust, the clock tower, and he's partners with Scott on a bunch of properties as well.
I think he owns properties adjacent to Citizens Bank, one or two of the lots there.
Yeah.
Oh, he does,
Those professional buildings before.
on Holly Road? he
Yeah,
owns-
I called
Yeah.
him. I talked to him.
He owns
He was
all
gonna
that
contact.
whole empty
Yeah.
lot.
Jamie.
No, Scott
I know.
Holberg.
I mean, Scott, oh, that's right,
I
Scott,
know
oh,
both
yeah.
are family
Yeah.
connected, so
Yeah.
I'll see him in a couple of days. So.
Well, I think this can't be too informal. I think we have to,
No, I think the conversations are to make sure that we get it moving, and I agree that focusing on one or two key pilots is critical. So
I
think
would
it's
love
up to
to
us
think.
to find
I
the people
would-
who will do it.
I would love to think we could do the Cherry Hill, or whatever you wanna call that property where the.
I can.
Wait,
I actually. I know
Jack.
Jack Sarabo's wife's husband pretty well. I can try to
See-
get the
See,
conversation going.
I think that if he would just,
That could be a zone though where even asking them what they want to do might be too hard. So is that one of the areas where we just say, hey, why don't we just run we don't need any time from you, any information. we're going to put an idea in front of you that would work really well for your property.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
That if they decided, they could just also say, this is actually something we can market to sell. And we can sell, like, fine.
Yeah, I think that property is,
that
that's the
property would-
first one that tips the scales.
Yeah.
Because it's right on the bike path.
It's on the bike
It faces
path.
the
Mhm.
bike path, and whatever that commercial space ends up being against the bike path is huge.
What do they
And
use it for storage for
The Perry
Belmont.
property too.
Sorry?
They're using it for
Yeah.
No, they
storage
have
for Belmont.
He parks
Hmm?
he parks trucks there.
Trucks parked down.
No, but they also use they use the buildings for some storage as well.
Okay.
They just-
Yeah, I'm not
whatever
aware.
they-
I-
whatever
They have
they
cold
do,
storage in
it's
there.
underutilized.
They have
yeah.
cold storage in the
I
old
thought-
Valley building. Anyways, but I don't know that, but
Yeah.
it's still.
It's
either way.
underutilizing that
But
property.
even in the code, if that's the case. you're
But that would be a
storage.
great little spot for
Storage.
commercial down,
Yeah.
residential, more density, go up, plenty of parking, right on the bike path. I
Mhm.
mean, that could be like an ideal spot.
Tell Jamie Costanza that Sweener's kicks ass. Sweener's kicks ass and nobody sees the sign. It's not on the main road or anything. I'm just saying, like, that place does a great business.
Mhm.
Nobody knows I didn't know it was there when I first moved there, but now we don't stop them. It's just,
And she's gonna say I do a lot more business.
what do you sell more alcohol and chocolate? What place?
Wine.
Wine.
She sells a lot of wine.
I mean, different types of businesses.
She used to have Cumberland Farms.
Did she?
One spot was, which
That was a
I mean, I was
Cumberland
shocked.
Farms.
That remember that?
I think
Yeah, it's
Cumberland
Cumberland
Farms
Farms.
wanted their model changed to wanting not just a convenience store, but a convenience store with gas tanks and the giant canopy, and that's what
Oh.
pushed them out of that location.
Yeah.
It was their business
I
model.
thought she pushed him out because she wanted to expand into the wine.
Could be that too.
I'd say all in all, and I'm being facetious when I said that, but I do think there's proof that the world works a little differently, and the signage, the presence isn't as important at the edge of the road as it once was.
Well, it definitely depends what kind of business, right? Like, especially like more delivery focused businesses don't need the kind of curb appeal that certain other businesses need. Like, I don't think that Bank of America will be diminished at all if there was an entire building in front of it that you couldn't see from the road.
Right.
Because you go on your phone, you say, "Where is the bank?" and it routes you around the building to the back where the bank is.
Right.
Like, it would be fine.
Yeah, you're not taking a loan.
Well, and there would still be curbside signage.
Exactly. Yeah.
The property is still owned by the same
I
people.
mean,
The Bank
Belmont
of
Market
America sign
basically
goes up
did it
on the
with
corner.
Starbucks.
Exactly.
That
It
building
doesn't hurt them at
stands
all if there's a
there.
building in front.
And I think upstairs there's still nobody upstairs, right?
There's
That's
office
been-
space up there. I don't know if anybody.
Yeah, I
is
think
up
it's
there.
still
It's a
vacant.
good point, because that is actually, it lines up to the code.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if we can be more creative with like how we show certain property owners what the reality would look like if they applied the code. If we're not telling her destroy the buildings you have, we say just build something in the front of that parking lot. That's okay. Now you're a force multiplying instead
Well,
of.
we're not telling them they have to do anything. anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
phrasing's
Showing them what the opportunity
the
is.
opportunity.
It
yeah.
could be, this is probably not the people that are there now. It's the people that come in the future.
That's exactly
This
right.
whole project is, I think, this is, when we're old, this will be my business.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
When we're like,
Careful.
Brian,
Well,
right, Brian? This is like a long term.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It'll
Things
be
like
20
this
it'll
don't
be
happen.
20 years
Yeah.
Just to become the fruition. Right?
It's like the next guy that buys the property.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
The time
kids.
comes,
Well,
or the
yeah.
kids inherit it.
but
It's
you
all
see-
paid. It's all
That's-
paid for, and they go, "Oh, why don't I? This place is run down and blah blah
The
blah."
population goes from 8 billion to 9.5 billion, and we're gonna need more residential to support that.
You know, some people, if the code goes through, some people could decide to cash out just on the
Yeah.
increased value of
That's
their
right.
Exactly.
property,
Yeah.
and let the next guy actually
Absolutely.
pick up the tab for building.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't really see anybody that's in place now that
Because a
chopping
lot of the
it to
big
bits. I don't
players
wanna
in
do it.
place now own their property outright, and they're just collecting rent.
cash cows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Total cash cow.
That's why they don't want to put all the tenants out and spend all this money.
Sure.
And especially
Yeah.
if you're older, to make that
Yeah.
reinvestment in your property,
Yeah.
you are never gonna realize
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that
It's a young man's game.
I was hoping Jamie
As we see,
Costanza's daughter
the
was
young
gonna
guys
be-
buying up all the property on Main Street. And
Okay.
Okay.
So the take.
The group buying all the properties on like Main Street.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're young.
Here, Ken, we'll bring it back over. So there's Perry's with the shoe area, right? I think that's a good call,
Feet
like
first.
flagship example. And then Jack's Cherry Lane Ballet Store those are our two flagship examples. Can we get, how can we push to get the Kings to come up with concepts for those two properties?
Well,
Right? Or do we need buy-in from the owners to do that? To show them?
No, I thought we just said we
I
weren't
think
gonna.
shouldn't need
we-
it.
We were just gonna go ahead. Part of our problem is, we don't have any clout with Kings. That has to go through.
that's not, I did buy a book.
Okay.
And I donated to the town, by the way.
There you go.
Writing it off on my taxes.
I love it.
I do income taxes.
So we can't call this meeting.
Well, that's fine. We can talk
can
to Jamie.
advise for it.
We can make a recommendation that these are the people that you should pursue. And we will help you with that. I think to Tom's point, we do need to come up with some kind of a financial
Yes, we do.
presentation, I guess. Sales pitch, if you will.
We could let the Kings do a specific design, and then we could send it back to Bourgeois and say, okay, what is, for this building, what are your numbers?
So if I sat in that audience, I'd just think like, okay, they're talking about a code change, I don't understand all of it, but it looks good. But then you talk to any property owners there and they say, no way, and I think the town wasted their money, end of conversation.
Well, the town
There was
is
no
close.
mention about the taxes.
The town is close to wasting its money on this project.
Speaking of, did we not just get that $75,000 grant that you guys signed a letter for? Did that just happen, Brian?
We did get a grant, but it's related to the surplus properties.
Okay, that's cool.
Right.
It's not, we can't dip into that.
No.
Even though money was already spent in the surplus properties, we can't.
They're gonna tear it down. So the money's to tear it
No,
down.
the money is
Yeah.
for the planning for the demolition of South Road.
Oh, that's what he got,
Yeah.
he got 75, he asked for 600, or you got
I can go in there and
75?
just demo it. I don't need a plan.
A bit of a stretch.
Drive my truck right through it.
I wasn't sure. I know the grant came in, and I know you guys wrote that.
Well,
so.
yeah, I wrote the,
So one small win from, I know it was many people, but forget that, let's keep
All right,
talking about
so-
this. Good data for finances,
So we do want to,
flagship examples.
I guess we're gonna help try to get these pilot perspective.
yeah, I think I personally think we don't want to leave it to the planning staff to do a lot of the thinking about it. We need to work with them because they're very busy, and our requests kind of tend to fall away. So we need to stay on them and try to.
When you say planning
Is
staff,
there some expectation
Planning-
from
planning-
like
the
Jamie
board or?
Planning
that
department, huh?
he would like us to do? Like, as
Yeah.
far as-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Brian said. He said part of our charter is to go and find these people and get them to agree to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so.
I'll take that task.
Okay.
So we just need to say, hey Perry, we're gonna show an example of what it could look like. Awesome. That's what we're looking
I
for,
mean,
right?
all you need is a. I mean, it doesn't. It's
Cool.
It doesn't even. I mean, even if we paid a private to get a rendering of a building,
Yeah.
is not a lot of money, and then
I think the only thing that would.
the financials
I
is
think-
easy. We can do that
I
ourselves.
think with Perry, I think Perry would be willing to say a couple of things about what he wants there, whereas I'm not sure Jack Zarebo would be. But I think Perry might say, I'd really like to see, I'm really interested in housing, or I need a restaurant. If we could just get him to say a couple of things so that the drawing could reflect
Sure.
what Perry has.
I'll say,
told-
Perry, we're thinking about using your place as a pilot.
Yeah.
On a blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What is it exactly you're
Yeah.
looking for? You
Yeah,
want a
tell
restaurant?
That'd be great.
Tell us.
You
tell
want
us.
commercial on the bottom, and then as much residential as you can up top to pay
Yeah.
for your commercial build up.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking to do.
We want.
Yeah, that's probably what he's looking to do, but it would be just
That
good
is
if he had contributed something.
And he likes the idea of more density where you can go up, so
Right.
you can get that, which shrinks the size of the building, so you can have the parking, right?
Ken, can
That's the
we
idea.
rely on you on that? Or you want us to write something that you can push forward? Or?
No, I'll just call him and talk
You
to
can
him.
call
he said
cannot
something.
talk to him this week because I got Reggae Fest coming up Saturday and I'm super busy, but I can talk to him Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, so next week.
I like that though. I like deadlines.
Super. So, okay, then we can go back to Jamie and say,
I'll call him this week and try to set up something where I can meet with him next week.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just
And
say,
then
hey,
the only input we're
Real
looking
bad.
from him is ideas for the
Just
property.
general
Right.
ideas for the property.
if we were willing to use your place as a pilot and give
do
you
we want to
a,
do the same with?
what are you looking to
Jack,
do?
How do we?
How about
Do
with
that.
Jack?
So Jack, if you want to get, I can take a stab at that as well.
And I can go back to Bell as well. 'Cause I can go back to Eric Bell this
Eric Bell.
week. So.
Did you say with Jack that his, whatever, his daughter's,
Sister.
Sister and mother.
when she put the kibosh on it, is that a dead end? No.
I think ideas
Did she
are
put,
same
I mean, is she, I don't know the family dynamics that she put the kibosh on it or
I
anything.
don't know, it's just, I've been
All right.
told.
I think it's horse to water on that one.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to Jack and I'll talk to the sister.
Yeah, with the premise of like any ideas, nothing is locking you in, right?
Right.
No, just,
Exactly.
we're looking to get some
Talk to
feedback,
you, just-
you know, we want to show you a little something, what are you looking to do? Obviously, it's commercial on the bottom or residential on top.
I'll go back and talk to James Dart, even though he's a tenant at Speedcraft.
Who owns that building?
Which one?
Speedcraft.
I don't know.
Does Scott own that building?
I don't think so.
No, I don't
No?
think so.
So wait,
No,
just
his
a
owner is
clarification, when you're talking to them, okay, they all want the increased density, I want to build above. But
Mhm.
there were three options, right? Basically, the first floor, the second floor, the third floor of residential. I thought the town council pretty much said they wanted the middle option. What does that mean in terms of building height? Is it 45 feet?
I think the middle option was the 3.5 story.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So
So they
3
have this
stories
partial
with-
build on the top.
with in the eaves
Yeah.
up above.
Yeah.
And it could, the idea is you want the retail facing stuff or commercial facing stuff on the first floor.
Right.
Another floor could also be commercial.
With
You know,
parking in the back.
Offices, you could have a layer of office space and then you could have residential. I think, given the current state of housing and the demand for housing right now, I don't think there's going to be any problem in getting people to build apartments above retail. That's where the demand is. The demand isn't for more retail space.
No.
No, that's
Right.
right. I think that's a problem, actually. There's more demand for.
There's more people in retail demand.
I mean,
We have lots of people that approach us in commercial downtown, which is mixed use, wanting to convert their commercial space to residential.
Well, one of the
Yeah,
things I
big
mentioned
time.
to the Kings was, maybe that you ought to allow some buildings that are just residential in this area, because there's plenty of commercial all around. You could just have some buildings that were just,
Careful.
Yeah.
We can't expand commercial right now, so there's.
yeah, but,
If we lose it, we don't get it back.
Yeah.
Essentially.
oh, I see what you mean.
And it's a
Okay.
hard rebuild too. You can't just.
There's not even like from the state top down.
Okay,
There's not any
alright.
initiative anyway. So I just
Okay.
we don't want to give up the
Little bit of-
1.6% commercial property that exists.
Mhm.
We need a motion to go forth and do this?
I don't think so.
Oh, you can.
So we've got action items, Perry.
So there's another action I would suggest outside of Ken's
Ken's
gonna
gonna
lot
talk
of weight
to
on his
Perry
shoulders right now.
and to Jack and Al.
It's your time to shine. Ken.
Andrew's gonna talk.
I've already shined, brother.
Andrew's gonna talk to Eric Bell. Susan's gonna talk to James Dart. We're going to invite them to participate in our pilot program for the form-based code.
Yep.
All we want is a few ideas of what they think
How
they would like, what they would like to see on that property and so forth, and then we'll do the rest.
Yeah.
And give them a proposal back and, and
But do we know that for sure?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask as well.
We don't
because I
want to
wanna-
go to
I
these
don't wanna
people
go to
and
these
I don't want to promise anything until we know that this is actually going to happen. We're not the people to do that.
No, the
What's
idea
gonna-
of the
You can't promise that. I mean,
We can,
at this point, it is going to go forward, you know, we have a proposed ordinance.
Right.
It will go forward to the council, whether or not it gets adopted or not, nobody can
No, I
say.
think
No,
the question is
the question is,
the freebie, the free planning.
are we actually, can I actually say, hey Perry, we're gonna use you as a pilot, we're gonna produce
No, we
this?
need him to come forward, because the whole idea is for him to sit down with Jason and Pam and express his interest in what he would like to do with the property, and then they would
Oh,
then
wait.
show how the code would apply to their ideas.
But what we just said was, we just said that we would just try to extract a little bit of information from them and
That's right.
get King to do some drawing and then go back to them, so.
No.
Yeah.
The idea is to have them come in and sit down with Pam and Jason.
What if it was-
Well,
That's not what we've been talking about this
That's
time.
not what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
We've been talking about something different.
Okay, so basically what our goal is, that we can promise them is, if we get them that meeting and they work with them, they'll get that out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need them to have the
to do
meeting.
a video call or something with the Kings.
They could do it that way. too.
Yeah,
They could
just
do
a
it
Zoom
virtually.
meeting. We need you to do a Zoom meeting with
Kings.
the Kings, which, that's funny. We need you to do a Zoom meeting with the Kings.
I
And
still
then-
have a problem every time I hear Costanza. So I don't know.
Costanza! And then out of
Can't
that
stand
meeting,
ya.
they're gonna get to be able to be used as a pilot and
It
get.
actually works better in person because the
Well-
Kings can actually sit there and draw as you talk to them. I mean,
But I thought they weren't here.
they're
No,
in New
they're
Bedford.
They're in New Bedford
For the
until
summer.
the end
Yeah.
of September. No,
End
it's
of
the beginning of September, so they're just through the remainder of this month.
Yeah, so only a couple more weeks.
So I'd say offering a video call, I think, it's gonna be on the table, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, once they go back to Florida, yeah.
But I'm still wondering, what are they getting out of that meeting? That's what I want to.
Active feedback, so then they can go do designs.
No, what is the
Perry
property
gets- Perry
owner
getting
getting?
Designs,
He'll get design.
Free
Okay.
designs, free designs.
Okay.
concept
Yeah,
designs.
just
Conceptual
get
designs.
Okay.
Design,
Concepts.
Brian,
financials.
is this funded?
Being the pilot. And
This is part of their contract, yes.
But
Okay.
Okay, good.
That's all I want to know. I don't want to go
that's the same thing I was going to confirm as well.
saying, "Hey, we're gonna do this," and then they go, "Hey, I thought you told me this."
Yeah.
Send you an
Alright,
invite.
so Drew, Ken, Susan, you guys got it?
Yeah.
and
So there's one
all
other
the
part to this, the data.
financial.
I think thinking about Tom, the Kings have prior examples of stuff that has been now in place for over a decade.
Mhm.
So we can use that historical data to show property owners that and maybe it's not. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe property value went down. I don't know. I assume it.
I think they'd be
Right.
more interested
Right.
in rental incomes
Maybe that's
and what.
right?
Yeah, that's what they're gonna want to know, because that's the number that's gonna get them. Not what the value of their property
Yeah,
is,
because
but
they're not
what the
selling it.
income is gonna be
Right.
based on what I have to spend to get there.
So property value.
I think it's both, because there are some that are
If they're looking to
just to give
flip it.
And this would be, we can use the prior art.
or if they're doing estate planning and that kind of stuff, and it's like, oh, this is,
Prior
Yeah.
King
I
examples.
mean, they're gonna have to get their own appraisal on that as well.
no, I know. I'm just saying in the context that that's something that they might be
was-
concerned with.
I was wondering if we could sit down and go over those
Or it could
financials
be,
and
this is the value
make
of
a list
property
of
now.
questions.
And they go,
or-
oh, great, because now my tax bill's gonna be.
Yeah.
Look at the presentation.
So I would
and
just stick
figure
with
out-
rental incomes.
Yeah. good point.
Bourgeois.
Very
Jacques
fitting.
Bourgeois.
From New Orleans.
So we got the
Bougie.
Kings, the bourgeoisie,
There
and
you
Dart
go.
who
Against Costanza.
Peasants, we're the serfs.
Are we
There you go.
reality? Like
Do you want to take a look at that thing and
Yeah.
come up with some points that we could use as presentation?
And that's in the long report.
It's in the big report.
Yeah.
There's a whole.
I'm pretty sure I have that.
Brian, is there
You
a
could
budget
get
for
it off the town website.
Tom to
Actually,
have a
it's here.
What's that?
bourgeois?
If you follow.
Am I the only one who's gonna look at it, or?
No, you and I.
Okay, so then, yeah, it'd be good for some way for us to have a dialogue. I don't mean an hour, but just, hey, you said this, where did this number come from?
Point it to me, so
Yeah.
you can review it, give questions. Brian, is that possible?
I see, I don't know to what extent Mr. Bourgeois is
Involved.
involved in the extension of the contract that the Kings got. I mean, he was involved in the initial contract, they brought him in. But I don't.
Could post it as a courtesy, we have a few questions and not give them the 30-page.
Right.
Thing.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd like to
I
summarize
have no idea.
It should be in your guys' house.
We'll come up with some questions
Yeah,
and
okay.
make sure that we understand what he's talking about.
When do we need to do, when should I do that?
Let's, do you want to,
Now.
No.
we can get together next week and,
Okay.
compare notes and
Okay,
think about
yeah.
what we want to ask, and we'll get a list of questions and we'll ask the Kings if they could find the answers to these questions. Or if they can't, then we'll see if we can go to Mr. Bourgeois.
So Brian, my question would be, could we ask, since the Kings fortunately have done this many times, we're not their first, we're like their 12th or something like that. They've done a lot of these form-based codes. I would like to think,
That's what they do for a living, right?
yeah, which is they've good for them, done a great job. They do other things too, right? But that's the majority of their income, I'd assume. Could we ask them? I'm sure we're not the only committee from all these towns that have asked. Do they have prior data on, any financial data from prior properties or forms that, like say in the Florida form-based code they put together? Do they have any of that data? So then we don't have to make it, right? Do they have any prior references in terms of like financial data from before and after? Like what were the values?
My suspicion is, just knowing something about the kind of developer and designer they are, it'll be Bourgeois who will have that, not the Kings.
Okay, so but let's have them tell us that. And
Yeah.
If we source that data is going to help push the naysayers away. Because if a naysayer, my property value is going down, or it's not worth this, it's like, well, this data says otherwise, and then you just leave it at that. It's like you can't.
I mean, property value goes up if they have more rental incomes.
Right.
So, I mean, I would really just.
Well, you know that, but they need to see it. The people who are just saying that.
But I was also just telling him,
Right.
you might want to focus more on the rental income aspect rather than say, yeah,
Just
because
the general property value.
well, because they might go, oh great, my property
taxes
value is
going
going
up.
up, now my taxes are going to go up.
Yeah.
They're probably going to come back with that. So I would try to
that's
sell
a
them
good
on the
point.
idea
Just
of the
But
rental
that's- But that
income.
is also back to Tom's point at the top of this conversation. Town council is going to be making this decision. So if the pressure is on the town council, not just from the business, from the town and from the residents, that this is an opportunity to increase tax revenue and make that very clear to them, so that when there's continued complaining about what the tax rate is for the residents, well, here's alternative options. And those alternative options are, yes, you have to do this. There may be business owners against it, but this is what has to be done. Property values will go up. They can decide to keep their property, or they can decide to sell their property to somebody who's going to take advantage of the new code and the new value of the property. So, and I'm not saying necessarily that that's.
I don't think they want to do that in an election year.
I mean, you could argue.
Well, but
taxes.
I don't think you say it like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
No, I'm not saying you say it like that, but I'm saying the reality, the biggest issue that I'm aware of on common residents is their own personal tax bill.
Yeah, we're not arguing
It's
that
a-
part. It's the other side of it that you could just tweak, where you say,
No,
"Oh,
no, I'm
if we
saying, but I'm
increase
saying
this-
that's going to be there. You can't
I
control that.
I understand,
Yeah.
but you say like we're going to increase the square footage, and that's going to increase the tax base, right? Like
You could have more rental income.
Yeah.
We're going to
Yeah.
give you more square
But
footage.
the
more
reality,
Exactly.
the reality.
It's got to be a
so your
balance. not,
tax per square
not,
foot
hey,
isn't
they're gonna
going
get
up.
Screwed,
It's
so the
everybody
rest
wins.
of the town's
Yeah.
taxes go
Yeah,
down.
I was just using
Yeah.
the example of what the alleged opposition is forming. Even then, it's a value proposition that, like,
For sure.
if there is opposition and you are against it, you can choose to sell at a higher value than you could have before this before this
Where does
was
that go?
Yeah. Actually, does the town allow for like
Today?
like partial? Like, could you still own like the commercial first floor and then sell the upper floors as condos or something?
Yeah.
To try to like split out that build cost, maybe.
We typically don't take a stand on forms of ownership. So
Right.
yeah, if
You
you
can
want us to
condo off
build a
anything.
building,
Well, so
you
then that's-
condo it and sell units.
That would be an argument against the person who's worried about the upfront cost. You can split some of that with like pre-sell condos and then, you know, that mitigates your risk as the personal property owner, right?
So,
Or partner.
And is there some kind of a
to own the risk.
tax break?
Exactly, yeah,
for
yeah.
people to do
the
that?
point that Andrew's making is a good.
Like if they
No,
do it-
the incentive to do that is the increased value of your property and taking advantage of the code.
Yeah.
So,
There's no current passed off incentive right now.
no what?
He's asked, is there any incentive to make any change
Right.
outside of just
If I'm a
facades?
property owner, will you
Yeah.
will you work with me
Match.
a little to help me to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what we did with the facades with the match, right? For investment. None of that's been discussed at this point, but would be good. They're talking about reducing taxes for certain. And anyways, there's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff where there, anyways, but there's nothing on the table right now. I think it'd be good to have something on the table.
Well, wait a minute, there is this thing that we did years ago, which is some tax break. What is that thing that?
Oh,
Tax
the,
holiday or something?
Yeah.
No, it's
is
the
it-
favorable tax treatment
Tax
if
increment
you.
financing? Is that what, tax increment financing?
No, there's some kind of
That's
a.
used to pay
No, there
for
was-
No,
public.
there's some kind of a.
It was something we did so many years ago, I can't remember.
Reduced tax abatement
Yeah,
in
for-
return
for
for
some
investing in
years,
the
yeah.
town.
But
kind of
nobody's
thing.
utilized it, right?
Nobody's utilized it.
Nobody's utilized it.
Sounds
We
like-
passed-
Oh,
we
oh,
passed-
the
we pa-
ordinance, yes.
Yeah, we
okay.
passed it under Steve Alfred and.
Well, could we tap it, you think? You think we
Yeah,
can
I
make it
think it's
relevant?
still there.
Here.
I just
Oh.
can't
The
remember
ordinance
what
is
it
still there.
What is the ordinance?
I can't remember. Do you remember?
It was a tax abate, I mean, it
South
predates me
Kings.
and I've never really
Yeah, well,
looked at it.
Look that up,
exactly.
yeah.
Come
It
up.
doesn't predate me, but I can't
I
remember.
know why nobody dipped
I looked
into
at
it.
Because I'm so.
I'd be
old, I
curious
can't
to see
Hey,
what that
I'll
is.
look that
Yeah.
up because it's a part of the financial
Yeah.
stuff. I've
Okay.
seen it before. It's a
Maybe there's something there.
most favored nation
No,
tax
it's
thing.
some
We'll just look it
some
up.
abatement you
It's
get.
an incentive.
Seriously.
If they do the redevelopment, Randy will get him a gift card to.
I will. $55 per person.
Brinkley.
Starbucks.
We're getting the pizza. We'll throw the opening party. It's
Free
fine.
ice cream.
Oh my god.
Hey man, you go crazy.
Yeah.
Brinkley's in February.
What were we just saying about free food?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Brian,
Okay.
could we ask the Kings though if they have any prior financial data from past FECs they've been in place?
I can,
Simple email.
I can talk to Jamie and see what we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an
See
easy
whether there's
email.
anything.
If they're like,
Yeah.
you don't,
And-
fine, then we'll have to do our own research, right?
Yeah.
Well, they have it, they obviously have it because they put it in the report, so the
Mhm.
question
Yeah.
is just whether they have to buy it to get more of it. But
Yeah, so
let
just asking
Jamie-
the
let
question,
Jamie-
Brian, would you guys all agree? Just
Mhm.
asking a simple question, so you have prior data.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Any
All right.
more old business? Good. Let's move on. All
We
right.
gotta be out of here in half an hour.
Okay, let's make it 20 minutes. We should get out of here by 10 of. So the first item is a new item. It's the Rhode Island Main Street America initiative. Susan, you know more about this than just about anybody. Do you want to give the state of the state as far as this opportunity?
Have you got it here? Well, I don't know very much. I mean, I just know that Gross Mart has worked to get this passed so that now Rhode Island, as a state, is now a member of this thing called
Main Street
Main Street
America.
America.
Mhm.
And that gives Rhode Island access to some of the resources that Main Street America has. And one of the one thing that I know from Jillian Finkel, who is responsible for this passage of this, is that they're going to choose 10, in the coming year, they're going to choose 10 communities out of the 37 in Rhode Island to serve as pilots in different areas. And I said, Jillian, we definitely want to be a pilot. That's sort of all I know.
Okay.
Jillian, I asked her to come to this meeting, and actually Mike thought it might be better. I was going to suggest to Ken that he invite the Wakefield merchants
I
to
got a
come.
Main Street hat on.
Yeah,
Mhm. That's
a
look
cool
at
app.
that.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at that.
Hey.
So anyway, so at some point, I think we should ask Jillian to come and talk to us, and she's got a few slides
Yeah.
she can show us, and we can try to get Wakefield merchants to come too, and maybe Joe Bealey to come. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think at this point, that's all I have to say about it.
You could probably do it at the chamber.
Do it at the chamber, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
So do you wanna get with Joe, or do you wanna get with Joe, or?
Yeah, I'm happy to reach out to Joe. I saw Joe this morning.
Sent him
Did you
a
call
birthday
him Valet?
greeting this morning.
Valet, how do you
He's
say
all
it?
out.
Viola?
Beely.
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 It's all these.
Oyster.
Okay, so we could reach out to him and try to get that set up. I think it would be great. I went to Woonsocket, and they, Smart Growth?
Grow Smart RI.
Growth Smart Rhode Island.
There's another thing.
I thought it was like Gross Point or something. I'm going, where is that? And finally they go, no, Grow Smart. So anyway, they have they've sponsored this tour, and we went through Woonsocket, a factory town, and they're remodeling a lot of these buildings. They're mixed use. There's one developer there that's done 3 or 4 different buildings. One is a office space rental company, a couple of small startups in there. Another one's got a brewery, and then this big one that they're working on is going to be market rate housing, with the downstairs of the factory is going to be a couple of stores that would be good for the residents and anybody else from the town, kind of thing. Really very well done, and very successful. The one thing that I saw there that I thought was really interesting was the state has 2 education centers in Rhode Island. One is in Westerly and one's in Woonsocket. And it's a space where businesses can come in and do training, universities can come in and they can offer classes there, and so forth. They focus a lot on small business. You can, as a business owner, you could come in and say, I need legal help. How do I go about this, that, and the other thing? And they have counselors there that will talk to them. CVS rents a little store in there, a mock-up of a store that they use for training, and stuff like that. And
Sounds like
it was
the hub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like a hub, but it's focused on education. It's as long as somebody's getting smarter about something. So I thought that was interesting to maybe put into the hub thinking somehow.
Yeah.
They had, the one in Westerly was built by,
Electric boat.
no.
No.
Their benefactor,
Yeah,
Royce.
yeah, Royce, Chuck
Yeah.
Royce. He built the building, it's right next to the train station.
Mm-hmm.
We could do with a Royce here.
We could, we have
Mhm.
Ken Woodcock, but he's only interested in the land trust.
So
Anyway, that's the kind of thing they do, and Julian is very keen to come and talk to us, and
So
Right.
where did the funding for that come from?
the state.
the state.
The
Well,
state?
Really?
Chuck built the building, I think, but
Right.
the state runs the education.
So for like the hub education,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting.
So like one of the Crane Paper Factory, you guys know Crane? Barbara
Crane.
came to me. So Crane does all the money, right? They have that contract. They still have it. And a famous paper company, right? Big money come out of like Boston area, right? And one of their daughters, I think, lives in this area.
Yes, Barbara Crane.
Barbara Crane. She's very keen on the idea of a hub and a makerspace and artists. And
Mm-hmm.
anyways, she approached me, letting her know that she has a lot of support for that idea. It's interesting that the state funded it. Also, finding that the deed from the original Wakefield Elementary was given for educational purposes is also interesting. So that's indeed, I don't think it's strict, but it was originally given forth as for education and for school property. From people who used to make money in the town when there
By
used
the
to be.
hazards.
What's that? Yeah, that had industry. So when there was industry here, the people who had the money making money off the industry wanted to invest in the town, so they gave that property up to have schools, so their workers could come here and put their kids in school. Right? Now we're very much a vacation style, right, economy, right? Our economy is based upon summertime. Anyways, but it's interesting history, but knowing that the state is giving that could add a new angle to even whether it's at the school or somewhere else related to the survey.
Mm-hmm.
any pointers? I could do some research to see if there's still funds or grants available for that, or is there any?
I don't know.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
I was kind of intrigued by it, and
That's interesting.
yeah,
And I think
thought
it'd
it
be
was
great
very
because
interesting.
we need industry. That was one of the last topics we had was the industry, that we need industry to support the economy here. Anyways, very interesting. Yeah, anything
Okay.
you find would be great.
Cool.
Going back to the person who gave the presentation on Main Street.
Yeah.
Jillian.
Can you ask her at times, and then I can ask Joe if we can
Yeah.
use the chamber for those times. I don't want to ask Joe unless we know Jillian
Okay.
will give the presentation, so I'll
Okay.
wait for you, Susan, to
Okay.
let me know. And then I can, once we have the time, if we do a presentation there, we can invite everybody.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Okay.
A couple of council members there, staff as well. Okay, great. Creating opportunities for new industries in SK. Discussion about how to attract business to town in growing industrial sectors such as tech and blue economy to grow employment. What is this?
We spent a lot of time on that last week. I still have a bunch of extras. Nobody was here.
Oh, the last meeting. Okay,
The
all right.
last meeting. I think right now let's stay focused on the form-based code.
Yeah.
Let's look to push that through and put our
Yeah.
energy there.
But just for my own edification, what were we thinking? This is
So
this is based on your paper?
yeah, I built the report. Was any who?
I read the report.
Trying to get Google to move
I
the
had
town.
extras. I brought them over. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the first time I showed up, but I wasn't a real member, so we didn't have someone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sure.
So it was like 5, including me.
Andrew, did you? No, I wasn't there. It's funny because I still have these in my backpack. So that's perfect.
My copies of my
Can I
dining
have
room
a
table.
copy of that right now? You guys.
Yes, I had. Yep.
Yeah, so
I have it here.
the concept that, I mean, in short, thinking about how, since we're a very transitional area and all these people buy properties here that come live here for the summer, which is beautiful here in the summer, and then they dip out. We don't have, outside of, say, fishing, URI, and the hospital, there's not any large industries here to support the incomes needed to own a home here. And looking at how we either grow the economy based upon a feeding system out of URI to like feed industries that URI has the largest colleges in that are training. And then it was drawing in more remote workers that have higher salaries to be attracted to live in a place that would then have great parks and schools for their kids, right? That was one aspect. And there was a third aspect which it's blanking on it, excuse me.
I remember there were three, but
There were
two and three were very similar. But
Yeah, so industry landscape, housing affordability, attracting high income remote workers, strategic industry investment, URI, and then affordable housing. So, I'm sorry, so it wasn't just about building industry, it was about just building everything as a whole. And then the fourth one was building affordable housing so it could be purchased and looking at vacant schools. So we're already doing that, right? So the two we weren't doing was we're not actively, I say, by accident, we're attracting high income remote workers. I would say by accident, people want to live in a place that's remote, a beautiful area, right? It has nice
Right.
main streets and whatnot. So the main street thing is part of that equation.
Yeah, it's gonna help.
Yeah, it's a big part. And then the third one is this. The third one is where it would be the most energy and effort would be actually working to build industries here by using URI as a feeder, having incubator space and different types of things to grow actual businesses here. Which is a lot of effort. But where that goes, I think, again, focusing on the form-based code is the most important thing right now. And the energy, we can come back to this when we have the energy. We already have a number of assignments for the form-based code.
Okay, so a future topic, and another future topic I would like Deb Bergner asked me when we were talking about these surveys, like, well, why are you doing a survey? Somebody who's making 45 grand a year isn't going to be, moving here anytime soon. And I said, that's a transportation problem. That's not a, there's a lot of jobs in this town where there's just no chance that they're going to move here, right? But getting them transportation. And Susan brought me over to the train station. We went by RIPTA bus to another train station, the Whitford train station, and they have a program, for example, of where they buy monthly passes for their employees or subsidize monthly passes for their employees. I'm wondering whether those kind of ideas.
Does the hospital do that?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Simple idea.
Anybody can do it, and so Larry Fish actually does do that. He buys a monthly pass for at least one of his employees who comes down from North Kingstown by bus to work
One
at his
comes from
cleaners.
Providence.
What's that?
I remember him saying one came from North Providence.
And
Yeah, that's what I said.
somebody has to go to Providence and then come back because of the way. Well, can I give you the governor's telephone number and you can call him up?
Well, I talked to the lieutenant governor. She said we need a W-to-W, Westerly to Woonsocket.
Well, they're cutting all the.
Everybody should
Problem is,
now.
RIPTA loses money every
I'm just
year.
bringing it up because
And they keep asking for more money, and they keep trying to fix the budget, but it doesn't.
It is on the council's agenda to talk about about RIPTA, as I understand it. They're not happy that they're getting a lot of services going to be cut in our town. So we'll have an opportunity to weigh in on that, but I think it's very important.
Now, this is something I do know something about.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, to Ken's point, the problem is that RIPTA has not received the budget that it needs for years. It's starved by the state. They don't want very much money when you compare what they want versus what goes into roads and towns. It's just minuscule. But RIPTA is facing a $10 million deficit this year, which is going to drastically cut routes.
So
Here.
very
Here.
simple thing. So we'll assume that everybody knows these things. If the state's not pushing it, it's because they're not hearing about it.
Well, that's right. That's why I'm going to give you the governor's telephone number and you can call him up.
So but what if we write a letter as the EDC, we sign it just like we wrote a letter to get the 75K grant? It's like that's one little small effort. Butterflies, wings, great cats.
Oh, I can definitely write a letter.
You're very good at that. And I'll sign it with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could all sign it as the EDC just to send something as, if you remove this funding, our workforce is going to suffer.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Well, we heard
right?
that at the RIPTA meeting that was at Town Hall, not the one that Mike just talked about, but at Town Hall there were a very articulate bunch of URI students, most of them graduate students. Many of them worked in the flagship campus over at, the Bay
Narragansett.
campus
Yeah.
in Narragansett, and they live West Kingston in graduate student housing, and they earn
Yeah.
$21,000 a year.
Yep.
So when RIPTA takes that bus out, they won't be able to live there or work there. They have a live works, they're graduates.
And it needs to be heard. There's no way they know the impact that they could
Right.
have by not. And they have the budget. They're just sending it other places. Right?
Yeah. And they did, to Ken's point, they have done 7 efficiency studies in the last 10 years, and RIPTA always comes out fine. Given the size of the system, the amount of money they get, the routes they serve, there is no place to get further economies out of the efficiencies out of the system. But the legislature, I think it's because I personally think, I argue with my bus colleagues all the time, they're constantly saying this bus service is for the poor people. It's because, this poor person can't get to the doctor, this poor person can't get to his job. The thing I said to the governor was, I'm not a poor person, and I don't ride the bus. want to go, there are 3 express buses in the morning that are very early, 3 express buses in the late afternoon.
Yep.
I can't go to the theater and come back on the bus. I can't go to a museum and come back. I can't go on the weekends and come on the bus. And I would be a bus rider if the bus worked better. And I think a lot of people would. And Rhode Island has to meet an environmental requirement to lower its pollution. And you can't do that by adding another lane on the highway, because that is not going to reduce the pollution. But you could put people on a bus. If bus service was better, if it didn't have the reputation of being just for poor people, if it went where you wanted it to go,
And
people would ride it.
transit is really like, there's like a critical mass point, like a tipping point, where once it is convenient enough, ridership will then fill
Yeah, that's
in.
right.
Right.
But the problem is, if the bus only runs once an hour, I need to be there on the half hour.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get there half an hour early or half an hour late? Like it's not actionable for somebody who's trying to like have a specific schedule that the bus doesn't care about, right?
Do you want to write a letter to the council asking for a resolution to go to the legislature?
No, I do not want to go to the town council.
I actually had an employee that used to have to ride the bus,
Mm-hmm.
and I still had to go to URI and pick him up in the morning.
Yeah.
So finally, I just bought him a car. Because I was like,
Yeah.
this doesn't work. Timing didn't work. I was like,
Yeah, unless he takes his bike and gets in the bike path.
Yeah,
I know
just-
people do
Yeah.
that too.
yeah, it just
People do that.
doesn't work great in the winter.
Trying to trains, planes, and automobiles your way to
Yes.
work.
Not going through
Yeah.
EDC, but saying as the South Kingstown EDC, we recommend this to the state. Brian, is that fair game, or is that a mean exact issue, or?
No, somebody could volunteer to draft a letter, we'd bring it back here for a vote and approval by the board, and Mike would sign off on it as
Okay.
chair of the EDC.
And we send it up north.
Yeah.
We put it on
So
the
far,
bus. We can put it on the bus and
Get on the bus.
We'll get there in a couple
Cool,
of years.
let's do that. Next
Okay.
meeting we'll approve
We can
it.
all deliver. We can have bus
Great,
day.
thank you, Susan.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
I'll ride the
You had
bus.
some, I think, different angle points.
No, I got them.
Yeah, if you guys
Yeah.
can.
No, I-
Yeah, just
I
circulate.
know
Yeah.
I know they're critical.
All
I
right.
know that.
Brian,
I'll make that.
you sure here? Updates?
Yeah, somebody hand me a copy of the agenda real quick.
First
so-
thing is Open Meeting Act issues.
Yeah, I circulated some things about this. I haven't heard any more on this issue. I recirculated the Open Meetings Act materials. There was a memo, I think, from Andy Tights. I also recirculated the edited version of the Open Meetings Act that I've given to you previously. Apparently, there was a complaint about a violation. I don't know what it was.
From the EDC.
Nope. It was somebody else in town. It wasn't any of the planning department boards. Otherwise, I would know about it.
All right.
What I did do was I looked up, so the Attorney General's office investigates Open Meetings Act complaints. They don't publish complaints until there are decisions, but I put the name that the town clerk identified in her email into the Attorney General's office system, and it came back with a previous complaint by that person against the South Kingstown School Committee. So maybe it's this a repeat
I know what
thing
you're
of
talking
the
about.
same.
Sounds like politics.
So, just, you know, just
Well,
It is politics.
be aware, you guys generally do a good job.
We do a good job hiding it.
I have lapse and I have to bark at
Sweep it
people,
under the-
but generally everybody does fine, so.
Okay.
Good job,
He's
guys.
not looking at me, it's not surprised.
I think I was the last question.
And then, monthly update on business development, the Silver Spring Marina, which I had mentioned months ago, it came off the board, and I guess they were bought by Safe Harbors, and Safe Harbors has come back in with a new application
Safe
to
Harbor,
redo that
the
marina.
Chinese company?
What?
No, they're buying up all the East Coast,
Yeah, they're
the whole
buying
East
up-
Coast,
But isn't
all the marinas.
All the marinas are under safe.
No, they're not. They're not a Chinese company.
So
Going on
they've
Pond
got a
Street.
new plan to, and they're pushing through the process. So it looks like that will wind up with approval. And the village at South County Commons is in for final plan approval on those
2 buildings.
2
That's
apartments.
108 units.
52 units in each building. Yeah.
That's 104, and like 10% of that would be affordable.
No, it's like, is it 17 or 18 units in each building?
The one up in Kingston's like 300 units, right?
The one in
In West Kingston.
West Kingston, yeah, the original concept, the pre-application concept that they showed, I think was like 360, but that's pre-application concept. I mean, once they start talking real numbers and real engineering and all of that, who knows what's going to happen. They have been recently back for a meeting to talk about next steps, so there is continued action on that, although we don't have an application in the door yet.
Okay.
But it is still alive.
400 units.
And South County Hospital, third one, next page. Yeah.
Oh, South County Hospital, yes, they are back in front of us. So they did the zone change on the lot at the end of Kenyon Avenue.
Yeah.
Now they have to amend their institutional master plan because that property was not part of their master plan when they adopted it a couple of years ago, so it has to be incorporated. And then they have to go through the development plan review process for actual approval of the design of the parking lot.
So Ian, when they do that, can they
So
offer
much
bus
work.
passes?
Can we make it
too?
easier?
Talk about offering bus passes? I forget what the system is, but it's been in Rhode Island for a long time, and it's got some name, which I can't remember, because I can't remember, but I'll get you the name of the thing, but there is something, I mean, I know Amazon is using it, and maybe there are 4 or 5 big companies in Rhode Island that are issuing. There's a hotel in Providence that's just joined the program. But basically, there's something where the employer puts in a little bit of money. I don't know. I don't remember. But I'll send
Anything
you.
related to workforce incentives and incentivizing people to join South County, I'm definitely interested in, so happy to take a look at that one.
Okay, I'll.
We do offer a variety of different incentives, but usually it's directly to the employee.
How
Different
are you
stipends.
making out with hiring people? Are you short-staffed or are you
Oh, gosh,
in a
yeah,
good
depends
place?
on the area.
Yeah.
And the ebbs and flows are crazy. It's like a totally different world compared to pre-COVID times. So yeah, in certain areas we're doing really, really well. In other areas, with the flip of a switch, you can't find people to work for you.
What area is that?
Certain skills, diagnostic imaging technologists have been very challenging most recently. And then even some patient care technician roles, CNAs, medical assistants, some of the more entry-level positions in healthcare we've had a little bit of trouble with. Knock on wood, we're in a halfway decent place with nursing.
Nice.
Where are the properties at on Main Street, former Phil's and also the hotel? Boutique
Well, I
hotel.
mean, they're done with their planning process, so
Yeah.
they are in building mode. I drive
I'll
past
get a little
there,
ready about that.
Yeah, I was down there 2 days
hearing
ago.
power tools on the rooftop
Yep.
this afternoon, so, yeah.
Yeah, they were putting siding on the bar. No, they're moving slow.
Yeah.
About October.
I heard
Trying
that
to get
Phil's building
open
was all
for
contorted and
October
weird.
4th.
That did
Like-
a lot of work to it.
What's that?
That Phil's building was really contorted and weird and angled, and they had to do a lot of reinforcement to the inside of it.
A lot of deferred maintenance.
No, they opened up a couple of cans of worms, but they're also pretty slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them that. I mean, I had a deadline of when I bought the property, and I got stuck in zoning for many, many meetings. They fought me on it. Finally, I got permission, and I was way behind. I had to hire a second crew just to get. Well, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss the season after I spent all that money. So I literally had guys working all day, and then I had a second crew come in and work.
So they're not
To
gonna
get it done.
until after Christmas, you think?
We're shooting. Well, they're shooting for October, and we'd like to see them open for Oktoberfest, so it'd be cool if I could tie the marketing in
Yeah.
for Oktoberfest
It'd be
with
pretty amazing, considering I'm still seeing like, naked walls in there.
naked what?
Naked
Walls.
No, I see a lot of sheetrock in the dumpster today.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they got
Made some headway.
they made some headway. It looked like they had electrical and plumbing, but literally every time I go there, it's like you would think you see what I used to say, like ants everywhere, people working. And
Yeah,
it's
I've
just,
noticed
not
that as well.
happening.
I've noticed
Yes,
that as
that's
well
right.
too.
I only see
There's
one
one
guy
guy
really
that-
early. Like when I'm walking downtown, like in the morning.
Yeah, they're
you'll
just
see
not-
people.
Yeah, I mean
What about
October,
the Green Line Apothecary buildings doing any
way
information?
too much money.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything from anybody poking
No.
around about uses or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Affordable housing?
Unrealistic. It's just way too much money.
And parking.
$11,000 a month rent.
Yeah. I thought it was 8.
11.
How much square foot?
Not enough. I mean, what do you do with it? At $11,000
It's
a
unique.
month.
It's a unique space, and the parking's an issue.
And it's not 2 stories, it's a really tall inside, right?
Right.
No, there are
There
there's
is some
office
space
spaces.
It's 2 stories.
There is some space upstairs. 'Cause
Yeah.
I met
There's
with the
offices
guy who owned it,
upstairs.
and he came
The
downstairs.
majority of it's tall ceiling.
I don't know, there is something upstairs.
of it is.
I was
It's
surprised- I was
just-
surprised when I looked at the floor
If
plan.
it was a good
There's
deal,
a good amount of
it would be bought already.
office space up
Mhm.
there. Yeah.
But I think it's listed at what, 1.65?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally unrealistic. I think their build out was cost them a lot of money,
Yeah.
and now they're trying to recoup, but it's just unrealistic. So until they're really ready to move, or like they say, there's a buyer out there for everything, but they haven't found them yet. So
What about the Matuna Oyster Bar? Has he submitted plans yet?
To rebuild the
Yeah.
restaurant?
Yeah.
He wouldn't need to come through planning, it would go through building. It's an existing
Yeah.
use.
If he
Okay.
builds and replaces.
would he?
the
Does he have to bring everything
No, I mean,
that he was grandfathered
it's-
for up to
it's
code
the
now?
use that would have to go through planning. If there is a change in use outside of the existing use code, it would have to come to planning for development plan review. So long as it's still a restaurant,
Even if it changes in size?
yes.
Yeah, it's just zoning.
You know, he still has to demonstrate to the building official that he meets code in terms of setbacks and parking and
Yep.
all of that, but he can change the building footprint or, you know, whatever, so long as it stays within the use code without planning department.
Excellent. Is there a motion?
Before the motion, just one question. This is here. I mean, this is awesome. I never saw it. It would have been good to distribute this. Next time this gets done, can we get ones? Can we help distribute it?
You got a note?
We
We
did
had-
come through.
Sent electronic.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was one
Yeah, I know
There was.
Susan commented
I-
on it.
I wrote this,
Hey, give me a
first part
couple
of
of
it,
those?
and then we sent
Yeah.
it to
You
Pam,
want a couple
who
of
did,
these?
who redid
got it, Steph.
what I had in the back part of it.
Yeah, I was just full.
And I see.
There's more.
I'll see what I can do.
Took out the reference where you see the full plan, which is took out. I
Yeah.
didn't notice that when I saw it.
And
But
it's
anyway.
still good if the date was updated, it's still good to redistribute. I think it's good to educate the public.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't criticize it as much as I normally would have.
I'd say it's
Wow.
better to have information than not. So
If the date changes, if there's another meeting, or we just remove
the date, it's something we could
move this to cap car, but
I missed it. Right. It's the first time I'm seeing it. I haven't seen it float around. Nobody knows. Seen it. Like I haven't seen this at like cap. They put these at cap bar or something. Actually. Anyways, that's just a
I
comment.
don't know, I think it got done on the 28th of July.
One place.
2 days before.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
one place would be, Chamber of
McDonald's?
Commerce.
Yeah. And so, not to extend it, say it's a good document. We can reuse it with just by changing the date, just get because it's still all the information is as relevant as it was prior.
It could
to this
help.
Yeah.
date.
It could be a tool to help with the conversation to
Right.
certain people.
Yeah.
I took a few.
So that's all. I don't want to extend any further than that, but maybe we can just remove the date.
If we could have 1 minute of silence, we could get out of here at 8.
Oh, I think a motion to adjourn.
I hear a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Third, second. Any discussion?
I say no.
Wait a minute, that's a vote. We have a discussion. All those in favor?
I.
Opposed?